See, girls and infection, or women rather, women and infection are like very dark man and EFCC. 5 and 6.
I beg.
Hundreds of thousands of women out there, including you watching me right now, you are living with infection and you don't know, out of ignorance, because you feel like it is only when symptoms surface that you now run to the pharmacy and buy medication.
Fear, I pour you spit.
80 to 85% cases of infertility today is as a result of long-time untreated infection, mistreated infection, or poorly treated infection.
Oh my God!
See, the fact that anti-A is having symptoms for a particular infection and anti-B is not having symptoms for a particular that same infection doesn't necessarily mean that anti-B is not having that infection. If you are an asymptomatic individual, asymptomatic in the sense that the infection is there, but it will not show you any symptoms, and you feel like you don't have any infection in you, that infection will be there for a very long time. Now, when the infection has matured in your system, it will cause a lot of complications. It will enter your bloodstream. Now, when it enters your bloodstream, that is where the journey of infertility begins in you. That's when the complications begins in you. On the other hand, infections like staphylococcus, long-time untreated infection like staphylococcus, will result to PID, pelvic inflammatory disease in women. And from pelvic inflammatory disease in women, it will enter tubal blockage. From that tubal blockage, it will enter infertility or scarring or ectopic pregnancy. From that staphylococcus infection, you will develop PID, pelvic inflammatory disease. I'm repeating myself. From pelvic inflammatory disease, you have tubal blockage. From tubal blockage, infertility is there. From infertility, you have scarring. Either scarring or you have ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic pregnancy is a pregnancy outside the fallopian tube. And of course, any pregnancy outside the fallopian tube is not normal. That is an abnormal way of, conception. So the ideal thing to do as a woman, if you don't want to fall into this trap, is to go to the lab every 3 months to go and run a test. And some of you ladies are very stubborn. If you are having symptoms, for instance, maybe you're having discharge or you're having issues and the rest of the symptoms, you now rush to the pharmacist to go and get drugs. I want to buy antibiotic to treat my infection. Or you will tell the pharmacist that I want to get antibiotic to treat my infection. The pharmacist will sell because they want to make money. So that infection you are treating might not be what you're supposed to be treating. So you are mistreating an infection. You might be taking antibiotic for a fungal infection, and you might be taking antifungal medication for a bacterial infection. So you are mistreating your infection, and mistreating your infection will still cause you the same complication. So the right thing to do as a woman is to go to the laboratory. Go and run a test, a culture test, endocervical swab, ECS, HVS, high vaginal swab, and urine culture test. This test will bring out the kind of infections you're having, if any, and the right medication to treat it. One of the reasons why you've been treating, or you started treating an infection, let's say for instance, now you finally go to the hospital because the infection, the symptoms surface, right? You now go to the hospital, and hospital, run the test for you. The result comes, you've been treating, and it's not going. It's simply because you've been stubborn all of this while. So the infection has entered your bloodstream. It's now stubborn. It has developed wings in your bloodstream. So to treat it is going to be complicated. That's why you were running hectare-scatter, looking for a way to treat your infection. So after watching this video, every 3 months, you watching me right now, go to the hospital. Even if you are feeling any symptoms, you are feeling any sign, or you are not feeling anything, go to the hospital and run a test. Run those 3 tests that I just mentioned. If they find out that you have any infection, you treat accordingly to avoid infertility tomorrow because of common infection that could be easily managed or could be easily treated. Share this video to someone else there. Thank you.